of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And this is the regular meeting of the Board of Clallam County Commissioners, December 15th. Roll call.
Mr. McIntyre?
Here.
Mr. Chapman?
Here.
Mr. Peach?
Here.
Administrator Jones?
I'm here. Request for modifications and approval of the agenda.
We do have two we'd like to add as item 1C, a vote for the Washington State Association of Counties Board of Natural Resources representative, and a clarification at 2A that should be December 31st, 2016, not 2015.
Adoption of the amended agenda.
Second.
Moved and second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment for agenda items. Sir.
You're really into the importance of presentations.
Seeing no one, consent agenda.
Thank you. Item 1A is approval of vouchers for the week of December 7th. Item 1B is approval of minutes for the weeks of November 30th and December 7th. And item 1C is the vote on the Washington State Association of Counties Board of Natural Resources representative.
It was discussed yesterday in these buildings.
Yes.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Moved and second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks very much for the support. I appreciate it.
Very well. Good luck.
Looking forward to your reports.
Yeah.
If you're successful.
Reports and presentations. I think
Now would be
It's a public comment anyway. Kevin Russell, President of the North Peninsula Building Association, PO Box 1509, PA, Washington. I'd like to come before this body today on behalf of the North Peninsula Building Association and say thank you very much, Commissioner McIntyre. I unfortunately won't be here next week for your last meeting, but on behalf of the association and 150 member companies, we would like to present you with this plaque recognizing the service to our community and the service to our association, which is deeply and greatly appreciated, sir.
I'll present it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it. We wish you all the best, and we're there looking forward to
It's been a pleasure.
many things in the future.
I have a few, very few comments next week. Thank you.
Well, I apologize, I'm going to be out of the country, but I want to make sure that we came here and acknowledge again all of your hard work and service to this. So I thank you, and I thank the rest of the board for allowing me this opportunity.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for this, so you can keep it protected.
So he gets the plaque, Bill. You and I are still in the crosshairs.
That's how it works. That's the way it works.
Happy holidays.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Same to you, Commissioner Chapman. Commissioner Peach.
No comments.
Nothing for me, Administrator Jim.
nothing for me either.
Okay. Contracts and agreements.
Thank you. Item 2A is amendment number 2 with the Kitsap Public Health District adding funding, extending the term of agreement to December 31st, 2016, and modifying the statement of work. The money is already in the budget.
Adoption of amendment 2.
Second. Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2B is an agreement with Peninsula College and correctional healthcare companies to utilize the jail medical facility as a clinical learning location for nursing students. All, as we heard yesterday in work session, there's no cost to the county for this service.
Adoption of the agreement.
Second. Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And item 2C is an agreement with the U.S. Department of Transportation and Federal Highway Administration for services related to the Segment C of the Spruce Railroad Trail and Tunnel Project at Lake Crescent. All this was discussed yesterday in work session, and this is a little more than 50% funded by a grant from the State Recreation and Conservation Office.
Move adoption of the agreement.
Second. Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Maybe just to put on the record, a lot of hard work, obviously, over the years to get to this point. Specifically, Ross and Mitch James and your team, the roads, obviously, former commissioner, Gordy, we worked tirelessly, and with the National Park Service, we worked tirelessly with Rich to give it this morning. We would appreciate it. Rich, obviously, spends a lot of time on this, but it's a very complicated, some complicated issues to get to this point when people are walking through those tunnels in the future. I think we should hang a plaque and have the commissioner go his name on it or something. Because nobody spent more time on this than he did at the bridge. But I think that should be entered into the record for their hard work.
You're well done. Very good. Nice to see this moving ahead. Bids and awards.
Item 3A is acknowledgement of proposals received for professional collection services for the clerk's office and Superior Court.
Move to acknowledge.
We just have the one.
You want to accept them? I guess we just move to accept it and refer it to the clerk's office and Superior Court for the review and recommendation.
Second. Moved and seconded. This is from Dynamic Collectors Incorporated, Chehalis, Washington. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Barb, here you go. Thanks, Barb. Administration.
Item 4A is acceptance of a quitclaim deed for donated property on Lake Crescent, as was discussed yesterday in work session.
Move to accept the quitclaim deed.
Second. Moved and seconded. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And I think we have expressed it before, but it bears repeating. Thank you to the estate for this. This is really good.
Item 4B is a resolution authorizing allocation of local 2060 funds for affordable housing, all as recommended by the Homeless Housing Task Force Review Committee and submitted or discussed in work session on December 14th.
Move adoption of the resolution.
Second. Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And item 4C is a resolution authorizing allocation of the local 2163 funds for the homeless, again, all as recommended by the Homelessness Task Force Review Committee and discussed yesterday in work session.
Move adoption of the resolution.
Second. Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 4D is a resolution appointing members to the Chemical Dependency Mental Health Program Fund Advisory Board, namely Kim Leach, reappointed as Services for the Homeless Representative for term ending December 31st, 2018. Donald Lawley, reappointed as the Hospital District's Representative for term ending December 31st, 2018. Pam Brown is reappointed as the agency delivering subsidized chemical dependency services for a term ending December 31st, 2018. Officer Bruce Ernie, the Port Angeles Police Department, is appointed as the city law enforcement representative for a term ending December 31st, 2018. Wendy Sisk is a licensed mental health counselor and clinical director of Peninsula Behavioral Health, is appointed as the agency delivering subsidized mental health services representative for a term ending December 31st, 2018. Jan Yount is appointed as the private provider of mental health services, not contracting for funding representative, as a term for a term ending December 31st, 2018. And Nancy E. Martin is appointed as an at-large representative for a term ending December 31st, 2018.
Adoption of the resolution.
Second. Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And item 4E is resolution appointing a member to the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, namely Linda Keene is appointed as collector of the tax representative for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2018.
Move adoption of the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion.
This will fill the entire board. We've had one vacancy for a while.
Further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Community development.
Item 5A is consideration of final approval of a binding site plan, Charles Lipinski and James Richardson applicants.
Hi, I'm Donna Clark from the Department of Community Development. This applicant is seeking final approval of a final binding site plan that is, actually it's a little bit different because it's being recorded in conjunction with a short plat and a plat alteration, which is just administratively decided, but we need your signature for this binding site plan. So both the short plat, the alteration, and the binding site plan have all been completed, and the specific thing that you guys are signing is that the proposal is to improve an existing 6-site RV park and then create a separate parcel for the RV park to sit on. There was an open public hearing conducted on May 13th and then a reopened hearing on May 20th of 2015 with a decision rendered on June 3rd with 20 conditions. Those conditions set forth by the hearings examiner have been finalized, as well as the administrative conditions for the short plat and alteration of the boundary line. So it's all completed, and now we just need your signature.
Approve the final binding site plan.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
No budget, no public works, hearing 10:30. It's 10:14 or 15 right now, so we'll move to public comments, and then we'll talk about that after the hearing. So public comments, is anybody about anything in general?
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Ron Richards. I live in 24 Township, Pine. I wanted to congratulate you on one thing I read in the paper today, and that's to go ahead with the public defender's contract this year. But I think there were a couple of cheap shots in that article that I'd like to talk to you about. And the first is, I'm not sure whether you were criticizing me or Jim Jones when you talked about comments of problem with the court system.
No, I was referencing Joseph Memo, which he referenced.
Well, he did, and there are problems. And I referenced them also in the email I sent to Mr. Jones regarding this issue. And I don't think we should be criticized for raising those concerns. Because what we read in the paper is enough to show there's a problem. It's not all harming their decision. And nobody's talking about it. And that's one of the problems. I think that it's really public for it to be discussed, rather than swept under the rug. You know, in the past, I've raised objections about interrelated campaigns for a district court judge, prosecuting attorney, and sheriff. And you know, you see around the country where prosecutors have to investigate officer shootings, and you see there's some public doubt in whether prosecutors investigate those things properly. Fortunately, we haven't had that issue here. If were that issue to arise, there would be a problem because of the closeness between the sheriff and the prosecutor. This public defender thing, I hate to see this problem going one step further with a former prosecuting attorney and a prosecuting attorney candidate who I supported as prosecuting attorney, being thought about as the public defender. And with some inference from the administrator saying that there was a district court judge involved in the selection process. This whole thing needs to be sort of unraveled so there's a little more intent. So I don't think it's a cheap, I don't think we should be criticized. I don't think the administrator should be criticized for raising that issue. I think it needs to be more publicly addressed. But the other cheap shot that I think was mentioned today was Commissioner Fuchs regarding the increase in the public defender's budget over the last 10 years. Well, you selected the public defender, Mr. Fuchs, which is, as Mr. Chapman pointed out, a constitutionally required position. But you didn't question the increase in the prosecuting attorney's budget, which I'm sure is probably great. But you also questioned this increase in the budget. I think within a week of you approving the budget. Now, if you had a question on that increase over the last 2 years, it would have been appropriate to consider it today's budget. And you probably didn't be asking for it. The budgets are all available to you. And in approving any budget, you could have looked at all that information. Just a second. Oh yeah, and part of this question is answered by the prosecuting attorney in response to Solenda's over the changes to her budget. When the prosecuting attorney explained to you that part of the increase in his budget was because of the county taking over the Squid district court cases, or municipal court cases. So those now go into the public defender's effort. So that's, if you increase the prosecutor's budget, you got to increase the public defender's budget. So I think if you look at that, the public defender's budget hasn't increased any more than the prosecutor's. And it probably should have increased more because historically they've been underpaid. And recent court decisions call into question that problem. So those are my info on what I think are some shots. I would like to maybe address the problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing nobody, we will take a 10-minute recess and reconvene at 10:30 for our scheduled hearing.
On supporting
We'll come back to order and
schools again.
open our last item of business, well, next to last. We'll reopen public comments afterwards for anything. But right now we're considering a resolution. We'll have a public hearing before we consider the resolution declaring 2 sheriff's vehicles as surplus property. So, Jim, you have any comments to open our hearing? That pretty well describes what's...
Well, ordinarily we'd have Ron, but he did this before. We do have 2 vehicles and a 2001 Dodge Grand Sport passenger van and a 1999 Ford Box van, both of which are excess to the department's need. And so our both 3634 RCW and Clallam County Administrative Policy 455 call for a specific process to dispose of items at a public auction. I believe the intention at this point is to do the online sale and move forward as both policy and RCW calls for.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll open the hearing. Kevin Russell had signed up, but I don't see him in the room. I think he might have
Signed the wrong
signed the wrong sheet by mistake. But anybody else in the audience would like to testify or make comments, please come forward. Seeing nobody, let's pleasure of the board.
Move to close the public hearing and adopt the resolution.
Second. Moved and seconded. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And we will come back and see if anyone else would like to make any comments. Reopen our general public comment period about anything. Anybody wants to make any comments about anything in particular? Nothing in general. Seeing no one, that's all the items of business to come before us today. So we will adjourn today's meeting and continue until 1:30 this afternoon for the Board of Health. There'll be probably 2 commissioners there. I've got a conflict. I've got a meeting in Sequim that I've got to go to, so I will be there this afternoon. And Bill, I think you had perhaps something that was handed to you that you would like to mention publicly.
Yeah, if we could please, Jim Buck presented some information to me. You know, the National Guard is doing some work with Clallam County, and an update on their schedule is that tomorrow they're actually going to be in the Nia Bay and Clallam Bay area. Basically, they'll depart. I've got a schedule here if anyone has an interest in it, but they'll depart at 8 a.m. And drive to Nia Bay, and then at 1 o'clock there's a lunch at Nia Bay. The itinerary and some of the stops is in the information that I have here. If anyone has an interest in it, please stop by.
They're in the UOC today at 4 o'clock.
EOC today or before the time?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
What is the OC?
The operations center in the basement.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Mr. Chapman?
Here.
Mr. Peach?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
I'm here. Request for modifications and approval of the agenda.
We do have 2 we'd like to add as item 1C, a vote for the Washington State Association of Counties Board of Natural Resources representative, and a clarification at 2A that should be December 31st, 2016, not 2015.
Adoption of the amended agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment for agenda items. Sir.
You're really into the reports and presentations.
Seeing no one, consent agenda.
Thank you. Item 1A is approval of vouchers for the week of December 7th. Item 1B is approval of minutes for the work reports.
Yeah, if you're successful. Reports and presentations. I think now.
Would be
It's a public comment anyway. Kevin Russell, President of the North Peninsula Building Association, PO Box 1509, PA, Washington. I'd like to come before this body today on behalf of the North Peninsula Building Association and say thank you very much, Commissioner McIntyre. I unfortunately won't be here next week for your last meeting.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And this is the regular meeting of the Board of Clallam County Commissioners, December 15th. Roll call.
Mr. McIntyre?
Here.
the weeks of November 30th and December 7th. And item 1C is the vote on the Washington State Association of Counties Board of Natural Resources representative.
It was discussed yesterday in this building.
Yes.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks very much for the support. I appreciate it.
Very welcome. Good luck.